All right, so for those of you who are building your own fuel systems, this may be helpful. I know that when we're talking about Micron and fuel filters and pre-filter and post-filter, a lot of that stuff can get confusing. So let me shine some light on this. Hopefully it helps some of you. This car was having a fuel pressure issue. And I started looking at how the car is set up, and I didn't necessarily like the fact that, imagine the loudest fucking car ever is driving by right now. I didn't like how the fuel system was necessarily set up, because this has an Air-Motive A1000 pump on it, and I don't know if you can pan down and see that, or if you can see it in the camera. Yep. And if you can see, come in here, it's sitting higher than the fuel cell is. So that's issue number one. These pumps work the best being gravity fed. Now the issue number two is, and really what's going to help some of you guys out if you're having any fuel pressure or fuel issues in general or confusion when building your systems, is that a 100 micron, so think 100 being bigger, more space, right? This is a 100 micron filter. This needs to be placed before the pump, because you can blow right through it. It is not going to put any pressure or disallow fluid to flow through. And so this car was having an issue with fuel pressure, and I was starting to get stumped. I was like, okay, before I started tearing stuff apart, I wanted to see okay, how is the fuel system designed? What do we got going on here? So I pulled the fuel filter off, because obviously we're going to replace the element just because, right? You should do these things if you have a race car, even a street car that you drive a lot. We're going to do these things, these service items, right? As soon as I pulled this off, pulled the fuel line off of it, I see that it's barely dripping out. So the two things that I think is damn, that, number one, a 100 micron filter, rarely ever will get that plugged to where fuel that's still in a fuel cell above gravity feeding out won't be coming out of here. And so as soon as I pulled it off, I look inside. I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not. Does it focus on it?
Yeah.
That's a 10 micron filter. And the reason this is a bad thing, so you see, blow right through, you have to have pressure behind this filter. So a 10 micron filter, or even a 40 micron, if it's a carbureted application, is going to be post the pump, where you have more pressure behind it to push fluid through. A 100 micron filter is always going to be pre-pump, because the pump, most EFI applications are going to be gravity fed. You want that fluid to flow through there as easy as possible, so you don't run into fuel pressure issues and definitely lean situations that could cost your motor. Hope this helped out. If you got any questions, leave them in the comments.